We're ready to begin. God morning. Welcome to A Course in Miracles lesson 107 on Resurrection Sunday. So, whenever you may be watching this, you may be watching this years later. You may be watching this or listening to this on Clubhouse years after 2022. Just know that in the very moment that we were having this experience and recording this live, that it is Resurrection Sunday. And a big shout out to all our Christian fam all over the world who are engaging in and celebrating Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's begin with a deep breath. Today, we shall tune up our chakra system. Becoming aware of the energy currents, our life stream, our life energies. Sadhguru reminds us that if you master your body, you master about 20% of your life. If you master your body and your mind, you master more of your life. Yet, if you master your life energies, you master all of your life. Today, we master our life energies. Deep breath. We ride the wave of the breath. A deep, expansive breath in. Fill the lungs more than their current capacity. Release with an ah. Use the belly muscles to express all the air, especially from the bottom of the lungs after sleeping last night. Deep breath in. And release. Deep breath in. When you feel full, sip in more air. Clear the mind on the exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale, clear the mind. And beginning at the crown chakra, see this energy center open. See and experience, master communication with your spirit team of ancestors, ascended masters who bring us to their schools at night for our learning, who show us visions of what is to be, who help us see. I just had a powerful vision in the dream time of a book we're currently working on. Just signed the contract yesterday with a publisher for an incredible book. I got to see this in the dream state. Breathe and remember. Breathe and Connect with angels, spirit guides, ancestors, ascended masters. Connect using the breath and awareness, profound awareness, a deep state of relaxed awareness. And now drawing attention to the third eye, also known as the brow chakra, energy center, affording telepathic communication, psychic abilities, clairvoyance, simply known as clear seeing, third eye open to peer past the surface and to become a super seer, a seer, one who can see. Breathe and clear the mind. Open the third eye. Open wide at your command. The third eye, many of us shut it down younger, having experiences, seeing too much. And now open the third eye in complete love and trust of this universe that what you see is beneficial for you and all. Accept your gifts of prophecy, seership, visionary, psychic abilities, telepathic communication. Accept all the gifts afforded by a wide open third eye, the dreamscape, seeing your dreams and remembering them. You're now bringing awareness to the throat chakra, the energy center that is related to expression of the highest order, also known as Vishuddha. It means essentially pure. Throat chakra, a vast energy center extending far beyond the body. As all the energy centers do, you are taking charge of your life energies and directing them in any direction, endeavor, manifestation. You are taking charge of your life energies from inside your consciousness, throat chakra wide open, communicating clearly. Communication is with power and love. We express truth. We find ourselves to be an expression of the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Breathing. Bringing awareness to the heart center, a center of love, compassion, a portal to dimensions beyond, a doorway, a cauldron of creation, the heart center, emanating love, light, far beyond the body temple, heart chakra, heart energy center, forming a vast fountain of love around your being, pouring love into your life. No more expecting to find love or to get love from someone, being a fountain of love. And fountains meet with other fountains, and all are watered. We are harnessing our life energies and directing them for perfection on this third dimensional plane and beyond, bringing awareness now to the solar plexus center in the body and beyond the body. Solar plexus center, the will to move, the will to do, the ability to press forward, endurance, perseverance, getting it done. The true will is the will of the universe. The true will. Determine to live the true will of the self, capital S. Drawing awareness now to the sacral chakra, extending far beyond the body temple, this energy center, aligned with sensuality, creativity, bringing and birthing your children into the world. Children can be books, songs, fashion lines, food creations, all creations. All creations. Master your life energies and you master your life. Sense, feel now the life energies moving through. See the energy centers completely lit up. Drawing awareness now to the root chakra at the base of the spine. Energy center for rootedness, connectedness to this plane. An energy center of trust. An energy center of belonging. An energy center of needs are taken care of. An imbalance in this energy center causes survival living rather than thriving. Fully inhabit this energy center known as the root. It is said that the lower three chakras, many spiritual people are not rooted in. Many spiritual people are very much aligned with the chakras from the heart up, making it difficult to be in love relationships, make up their mind and be concretized in what they're doing, having a solid foundation on the planet, making money, and all of the things that are associated with the lower three energy centers. See the energy now streaming equally among all the energy centers. They simply all have a different purpose. See the energy rushing through the palms of your hands and the chakras at the palms of the hands, known as healing chakras. You are healed and you can heal. Notice the energy centers at the wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Become aware acutely of the energy centers at the hips, knees, and ankles. All spinning vortices of light. You are an energy being. We are simply reminding ourselves of this truth. Now seeing the energy centers spin in the feet, feet tingling, whole being tingling and alive, breathing. and ablaze with energy, light energy, healing energy, manifestation energy. This is you taking charge of your life energies, energies that are yours to wield how you like. No more dispersed energy, no more confused energy, no more dissipating energy, leaking energy. Cause all of the energy centers in and beyond the body associated with your spiritual self to be aligned, perfected, activated. And we breathe. And we see that we are harnessing energy that can be used and directed and focused where desired. You can direct these life energies toward your creations, bringing forth the books, the retreat centers, the retreats, the businesses, the wealth, the relationships, the support team required for your magnificent work on planet Earth, the buildings, the event spaces. You are bringing all this forth from the quantum field, which you are mastering in meditation, mastering the life energies. And now we offer thanks and appreciation to this great universe of life. We offer our honor and trust, knowing the great Lord Christ Jesus rose this day. And in the stories, we understand that it is a metaphor, a metaphysical understanding of dying and rising, of which many gods and goddesses have done. Dying and rising to remind us there is no death. There is only life and greater life, life taking on new and different forms. This day, be acutely aware of your energy centers. Be acutely aware of the energy you are emitting. Become acutely aware of where you are focusing the energy. Become acutely aware of the flavor of your life energies and seek to make them even more refined in love, peace, and joy. Today, be your best. Do your best. And we breathe and prepare to receive A Course in Miracles lesson 107. Opening the eyes, fully aware of our energetic nature, ready for the day, knowing that our daily spiritual practice is the key to having a magnificent day every day. A Course in Miracles. Our sound is working perfectly today everywhere. Yay. That's lovely. Whoo! This is one of my favorite lessons. Lesson 107. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Ooh, It makes me shiver a little bit because we now are preparing ourselves to have our mind completely washed. If our minds weren't washed before, say it to yourself, truth will correct all errors in my mind. What can correct illusions but the truth? And what are illusions and what are errors but illusions that remain unrecognized for what they are? So first we're establishing, the course is saying to us that there's only one thing that can correct illusions, and that's truth. And what is an error but an illusion, but we don't recognize, and we do not recognize that it is an illusion. Where truth has entered, errors disappear. If we let our minds receive the truth, the error disappears. The error cannot fight truth. They merely vanish, leaving not a trace by which to be remembered. You no longer put your teeth under the pillow, hoping that a lovely fairy will enter your room while you're sleeping and swap out your teeth for nickels, quarters. You will no longer, you don't do that. It fell away. Anything, any instance where you learn the truth, the error thought simply fell away. It vanished. It didn't even leave a trace to be remembered. They're gone because without belief, they have no life. Anything that is in the mind that does not have belief has no life. It needs our belief to keep being fueled. And so they disappear to nothingness, returning whence they came. From dust to dust, they come and go, for only truth remains. This is beautiful. There is nothing you have to make yourself believe. If you're trying to make yourself believe something in spirituality, then that is not the truth, because truth simply enters our consciousness from within, and it simply causes things to disappear. Oh, I thought I needed a Lord and Savior. Now I know that rising and dying, that dying and rising, as the Course says, because this is Resurrection Sunday, it says it was an extreme teaching lesson. So that we can see truth, the truth. There's no such thing as death. Can you imagine what a state of mind without illusions is? What would happen if there were no illusions in the mind about anything, about yourself, about anyone else, about weakness, about pain, about disease, about death, about fighting, about just not getting along with people, about lack, about limitation? What if you could do anything, go anywhere, do whatever you desire because you are completely free of all illusions? How would it feel? Try to remember when there was a time, perhaps a minute, perhaps even less, when nothing came to interrupt your peace. You didn't have a worry. You didn't have a concern. You didn't wonder, do they love me? You didn't wonder, what are they doing now when they're not with me? I hope they hurry up and get back so I can keep tabs on them. You weren't thinking about that. When you were certain you were loved and safe, you were certain you were loved and safe. You were certain. Maybe you haven't had that experience since you were a child. That the Course says, try to remember when, even for a minute, you were like that you were loved and you were safe. Then try to picture what it would be like to have that moment be extended to the end of time and to eternity. What if you always felt loved and safe? What if you always felt loved and safe whether people were around, rather than feeling lonely if bodies are around and if bodies are not around? I'm having an extreme experience now of learning, what is loneliness? What is that? When bodies are not around. And we have an illusion that I'm lonely, I'm alone. Being with oneself is not being alone. You're with yourself, capital S self, you are with. Yet, here we have illusions in the mind. I'm so lonely. Here are more illusions in the mind. I need somebody to be with. Here are more illusions in the mind. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough love. I don't have enough time. Illusions in the mind. What if you didn't have those illusions in your mind? What if you felt completely loved and safe at all times, and you were able to extend that beyond a moment, the Course says, until all eternity? What if all the time you walked around feeling completely loved and completely safe? Then let the sense of quiet that you felt be multiplied 100 times, and then be multiplied another 100 more. Feel it right now. Feel the feeling of being loved and safe. Now multiply it 100 times, the feeling of loved and safe. And now multiply that 100 times, the feeling of loved and safe. You wouldn't have a problem with your neighbor. You wouldn't have a problem with your lover. You wouldn't have a problem with your kids. You wouldn't have a problem with your mama and your daddy. You wouldn't be looking for love in all the wrong places. You wouldn't be trying to get love. You wouldn't be trying to fall in love. You wouldn't be trying to make sure other people love you as much as you love them. You wouldn't be concerned that maybe someone's going to take the love and love someone else. You would have none of those concerns because all of these are illusions, delusions of a mind that believes love can be somewhere else other than where you are. And now you have a hint when you take that feeling of being loved and safe. You have a hint now that you've multiplied it 100-fold and you multiply it 100-fold again. Now you have a hint, not more than just the faintest intimation of the state your mind will rest in when the truth has come. Wow. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Without illusions, there could be no fear, no doubt, and no attack. There would be no conversations of, oh, I want to do it. There's something I want to do right now. And this morning it came to me, well, the only reason you're not doing it is because of fear. Okay, well, then I made my decision because my life is ruled by love, not fear. I'm doing it. The second you get approached with some bigger things, here comes the fear. What would happen if you knew you were loved and safe no matter what? Then the illusions of fear would be gone. No doubt. Should I do this or should I do that? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know how to do this. Doubt poisoning everything you're wanting to do. And just a tad of doubt sinks your ship. You were so certain. And then some doubts came up in the mind. Oh, what if? What if? What if? And you could get rid of all the doubt. What about the attack? No attack. And you might say, I don't attack people. I'm a spiritual person. Spiritual people don't attack people. What about in your mind? When you thought any thought that was not love, it was called a grievance, and a grievance is attack. When truth has come, all pain is over. When truth has come, all pain is over. That means all heartbreak, all abandonment, all wounds, all pain in the body temple, all pains from childhood, all emotional pain and stagnancy. When truth has come, all pain is over. There is no room for transitory thoughts and dead ideas to linger in your mind. When truth has come, truth has come. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth will show me I'm loved. Truth will show me I'm safe. Truth occupies your mind completely, liberating you from all beliefs in the ephemeral. We believed things about ourselves that were not true. We believed that we could get sick. That's why we keep running to the doctor. Do I have it? Am I okay? We believe that the doctor told us, oh, you're never going to be well. You have to take this medication for the rest of your life. What? I wish a white coat would tell me that. I would know you're lying because truth will correct the errors in my mind right now. I just need to know what errors need to be corrected in my mind. This is not an indictment on white coats. Go to all the white coats and doctors you want. At the same time, I hope that you are addressing your mind and letting truth flood your mind. While you're getting an operation, let truth flood your mind because the doctor is not working on your mind. That's your job. Truth occupies your mind completely, liberating you from all beliefs in the ephemeral, liberate me and my mind spirit from all beliefs I have. They have no place because the truth has come and they are nowhere. It says that they don't even fight. Does the darkness fight when you turn on the light? I'm not leaving, said no darkness anywhere. It's black, you turn on the light, the darkness is gone. It doesn't fight the light. Truth has come, illusions are gone. They cannot be found, for truth is everywhere forever now. Truth is everywhere forever now. Tell yourself that. Truth is everywhere forever now. Now, whether I want to see the truth, whether I want to see the truth of my situation, whether I want to see the truth that I'm playing small, whether I want to see the truth that I'm with people that really don't deserve me and that I really am not to be with, whether I want to see the truth of all these things happened in my life, whether I want to see the truth of I'm going down the wrong path right now, whether I want to see the truth of this is not going to work for me, whether I want to see the truth or not, is beyond the point. The point is that when truth comes into your mind, everything that's not truth will evaporate. When truth has come, it does not stay a while to disappear or change to something else. It does not shift and alter in its form, nor come and go and come again. It stays exactly as it always was, to be dependent on in every need and trusted with a perfect trust in all the seeming difficulties and the doubts that the appearances the world presents engender. The world presents you with a myriad of difficulties, seeming difficulties, difficulties with kids, difficulties with house, difficulties with this, difficulties with that, and doubts. Oh, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I know I'm supposed to do this, but I feel kind of confused. I feel conflicted. All that will be gone. I used to have a life full of doubts, full of emergencies, full of seeming difficulties. I don't have none of that shit anymore. It's not, you don't need it. You don't need difficulties. You can just be in the love. You don't need difficulties. And it didn't even say they're real difficulties. It says seeming difficulties. And you know how there are seeming difficulties because they're always changing. 1 minute you have the problem, next minute you don't have the problem. What happened? I didn't even do anything with that problem, and I don't have that problem anymore. That should tell us that these things are illusions. They will merely blow away when truth corrects the errors in your mind. That should be our only purpose here. Our only purpose here is the mind and consciousness and becoming love, being God. Remember that you are God and God is you, and that all errors need to be corrected in the mind. Stop trying to fix other people. Stop noticing what is the problem with other people. Stop trying to fix your kids. Stop trying to fix your boo. Stop getting in other people's lanes and telling them, I saw this for you. Shut up. Close your eyes and meditate and see what you see for you. Stop telling other people you had a vision about them. You had a vision about your own damn self. Sit down and let truth correct the errors in your mind. When truth has come, it harbors in its wings the gift of perfect constancy. It says we can trust it. It says it's not going to change. It's not going to wax and wane. It's not going to come and go. It has a perfect constancy. Ever since I found the truth, it didn't waver. Love is truth. Trust is truth. Peace is truth. Joy is truth. They don't change. Now, me and my flaky self, I could be all over the place. These things do not change. They are constants, and it said truth will bring you the gift of perfect constancy and love, which does not falter in the face of pain. First, you love the person. What happened? You were so in love. Remember all those people you were so in love with? Oh, you were so in love with them. Then what happened? Something happened and you wanted to kick their ass, or you wanted to knock them off and hide the body. What happened? Or you got a divorce, or all of a sudden there's heartbreak, there's super pain, there's betrayal, there's cheating. What happened to all those people you fell in love with? And when you fell in love with them, you swore, you had butterflies in your stomach. We were so in love with them. No one has ever been in love with anyone in the entire history of love and humanity. You've never been in love with anyone. You have been in love inside yourself that you chose to turn on and off whenever you wanted to. You liked what the person was doing in the beginning because you were seeing their stunt double and you saw their representation, their representative, as it's called. And then when you start to get the real and know the real person, because you don't have a love for yourself and you have a lot of self-loathing, the self-loathing began to exude yours and theirs. And then you started seeing things about them that you didn't like. And then you proceeded to make them a remodel project. Why don't you just change this and I'll feel better? Very strange. That is an illusion we have in our mind. Why don't you just change how you do something so I can feel better? It's a bizarre thought. How many times have I had that thought? It's a bizarre thought. It's a completely lie thought. Change something that you do so I can feel better. It's a lie. How many people still harp on that lie, won't let it go? Yet today, truth will correct all errors in my mind. Love does not falter in the face of pain. Now you think of all the people that you fell in love with and you fell out of love with them, right? Eventually, you have to, if you fall in love, you have to fall out of love. It has to happen. Stop falling in love is the answer. I stopped falling in love because I said I was under some kind of spell. I was on some kind of hypnotic spell of, oh, butterflies. We're in love with the idea of being in love. Love doesn't falter in the face of pain. So let me ask myself a good hard question. We just have to ask ourselves these truth questions, these searing truth questions. Was I really in love with this person at all? No. I liked the feeling that I had when I was around this person. And it's a feeling that I can have all the time, whether I'm around someone or not. I can be in the love all the time, and it has nothing to do with anyone else. It has everything to do with the decision to allow truth to correct all errors in my mind. Love which does not falter in the face of pain, but looks beyond it steadily and sure. Love looks past all your pain, all your heartbreak, all your wounds, all your sadness, all your troubles. Love looks past it because it knows it's not real. Here is the gift of healing, for the truth needs no defense, and therefore no attack is possible. You can't attack truth, and truth doesn't need a defense. It simply is true, and your inner voice is always telling you it's true. And whether we listen to it or not, well, that's a whole nother story. That's what makes life so interesting. Illusions can be brought to truth to be corrected. Is this true? That was a question I asked myself for many, many, many years. I still ask myself that question. Is this true? What I'm thinking right now, is this true? Is that true? I've asked myself that question so many times, and I hear the voice deep within myself that says no. I'm believing something that's not true. Well, what is truth? And then when I hear the truth, the other thing quickly dissipates. Do we understand that illusions have no solidity? Illusions have no permanence. Illusions have no reality. If we go back to day one in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful course, please go back to day one. And on day one, we read the introduction to the course. Before we read lesson one, go back to day one. I go back to day one sometimes. And actually, day one and day 104 are the most watched videos on the YouTube channel in this series. And I pray millions and billions and billions and billions watch all of them. I pray this Course in Miracles lesson gets to everyone. And there are a lot of Course in Miracles lessons, and there are a lot of people that share a Course in Miracles. And why are there so many of us that share a Course in Miracles? Because all of us share it in a different way, and that way we can reach all of humanity. Well, on day one, it said, what is the whole purpose of the Course in Miracles? Here's the purpose right here. Of course, it's mind training. It's an intensive consciousness reorganization. It's massive reorganization of consciousness from what's real, from what's unreal to what's real. And this is what the Course said. Nothing unreal exists, and what is real cannot be threatened. Herein lies the peace of God. When you begin to understand what is real and what is not real, you will know that you can never be threatened. You will be safe and in the love. You will drop all of your defenses, and we will drop all of our seeming vulnerabilities. We'll be willing to be vulnerable because we know the truth. That we're not attackable. You're not assailable. You're invulnerable. When the truth dawns in us of who we really are, mighty spirit beings that are having this wonderful human experience with lots of other mighty spirit beings who are having human experiences. It's not the other way around. You're not a human that sometimes has a spiritual experience. Oh, I had a spiritual experience. No, you're a spiritual being. You're a spirit. We had that in one of the lessons lately. It said, I am spirit. Something I've said to myself thousands of times. I am spirit. I say it every time I get to thinking that I may be a human with a human problem. You see, the Course said, nothing unreal exists. Nothing real can be threatened. Herein lies the peace of God. It said that right in the introduction. That's what we're doing. We're attempting to take our minds out of illusions and what is unreal. And next thing you know, you have abundance. Next thing you know, your body temple is healed. Next thing you know, your relationships are going along swimmingly. Next thing you know, your mind is clear. Next thing you know, you're creating more. Next thing you know, you have more energy. Next thing you know, you have a more beautiful home, more organized structures in your life. Next thing you know, support and aid comes to you to create even bigger things in your life. Next thing you know, you have this experience with the universe of dancing. You're dancing with the universe. Forget about dancing with the stars. How about dancing with the universe? Illusions can be brought to truth to be corrected. But the truth stands far beyond illusions. It cannot be brought to them to turn them into truth. We're not going to be able to turn what we think is truth into truth. Now, you all you want. This is Resurrection Sunday, and while we honor all the beautiful, incredible Christians who are going to church today on Easter Sunday, is beautiful. I love Resurrection Sunday. The first ever Christian Witches Convention was held Resurrection Sunday weekend, and on this very day, 3 years ago in 2019, at the first ever Christian Witches Convention, we were preparing ourselves for the first ever Christian Witches public church service open to everyone, in which we had incredible attendees and where we deepened into the lesson for that day. Lesson 50, I am sustained by the love of God, was actually the experience at church that we had at the first ever Christian Witches Convention. And Robert sung, and there was tears everywhere. And people came to the stage and got their life. We had a salvation up in there. We had a deliverance. Yes, in Christian Witches Church, we do all that. And we'll do it again. New Orleans, Memorial Day weekend, get your tickets. That is truth. We bring illusions to the truth. So this whole idea of Resurrection Sunday, this whole idea of a rising Savior, there's a book called The 13 Crucified Saviors. And there are many, many, many saviors that we have had. They died and then they rose again. It's a metaphor. It's a story. It's a legend that helps us to understand our essential nature. Our essential nature is not, and the way that we clue into the secrets of the universe is through story. Story is our languaging. As humans, we love stories. We are drawn into the story because all of the goodness and deliciousness is packed into the story. But if we just tell you the thing, well, it won't have much meaning, because to us, things do not have meaning unless they have emotion. And with stories, you have emotion. And then we understand that now we're getting to the truth. We can feel it. It's happening below the neck. So if you were brought up in the illusion that Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ himself told you right here in the Course in Miracles that he's not your Savior. He told you, salvation comes from inside you. Ye are gods. That's what it says. It says, ye are gods. That must mean you need to save yourself. And if you are insistent on looking from us for a savior outside of yourself, any savior, money, a big business, a lover, any savior outside of yourself, you're going to be disappointed sorely. You're going to seek but not find, which is the ego's game, seek but don't find. And you're going to not let these illusions in your mind be corrected. Wow, the Course, I've been reading it all these years. Many of us have been reading the Course for years. And this year, here we are in day 107. Congratulations to you. The Course has done more for my consciousness in these 107 days, maybe than all the years put together. Illusions can be brought to truth to be corrected if we want to. Is Jesus Lord and Savior? Do I need to look to the cross to be saved? Did God write the Bible? Start asking some questions. I ask a lot of questions. Is this true what I'm thinking? Truth does not come and go, nor shift, nor change. In this appearance now and then in that, evading, capturing, escaping, grasp. It does not hide. It stands in open light, in obvious accessibility. You can access truth anytime you want to, if you want to. It is impossible that anyone could seek it truly and would not succeed. It is impossible that you could be on your spiritual path and you not find the truth. Today belongs to truth. Give truth its due, and it will give you yours. That means I give truth its due, and it will give me liberation in my mind. You were not meant to suffer and to die. Your Father wills these dreams be gone. Let truth correct them all. Stop thinking you're supposed to be sick. Stop thinking you're supposed to suffer. Stop believing you're supposed to die. Stop believing you're supposed to get old. Stop believing, oh, well, that's just part of life. Stop believing it. My daughters, we have a group chat, and my daughters were chatting back and forth about those couples that were on that love show, something about Netflix. The couples were giving some kind of shot at swapping wives or something. Well, wife swapping in itself is always a titillating, what would happen if you just switched all the partners up? That's always a titillating conversation. And in it, they were talking about, literally, they had 78 texts. The phone just kept ding, 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 ding. And I looked down and it said 78 texts. And I looked at the conversation. I didn't know anything that they were talking about because I didn't know any of these characters because I haven't watched the show yet. And apparently, these characters were really doing a lot. Wow, these people, these couples were really doing a lot. Can you imagine, if you watch that show on Netflix, that entire show would not exist if everyone knew what we're talking about today? If truth, given its due, corrected all errors in their mind about everything, about love, about who they think they love, about who they fell in love with, about what they want to do now, about whose baby is this. Your Father wills these dreams be gone. Let truth correct them all. Let your mind just be washed today of everything you believe. We do not ask for what we do not have. We merely ask for what belongs to us. Everything we ask for every day in the course: freedom in the mind, oneness with source, knowing who we are, infinite beings, infinite peace, infinite happiness, infinite joy, bliss, beauty, euphoria, creativity. All these things that we are asking for belong to us, that we may recognize it as our own. We simply have not recognized happiness and bliss as a way of being. I didn't recognize it for many years, that I could just stay happy. And people will say, well, it's crazy because life has ups and downs. How about you just don't do the down part? Nothing binds you to having to have a problem so you can solve it. Today, we practice on the happy note of certainty that has been born of truth. Certainty comes, remember, it says certainty comes on the wings of truth. Truth will get rid of all your doubts. The shaky and unsteady footsteps of illusion are not our approach today. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Do they love me? Do they not love me? I don't know what'll happen if I say this. Oh my God, I want to do this, but I don't know. Will it work? I'm just so scared. Oh my goodness, I know I need to be doing this, but all that is gone. We are as certain of success as we are sure we live and hope and breathe and think. We do not doubt. We walk with truth today and count on it to enter into all the exercises that we do today. We're going to count on truth today. We're giving our day to truth today. Truth, come into my mind. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Tell yourself that. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth, come into my mind and just take over. Truth, take out everything in my mind that is an illusion. Starting with otherness. Well, truth, I'm not even going to tell you where to start. Please, truth, just have at it. Begin by asking him who goes with you upon this undertaking that he be in your awareness as you go with him. This voice for God, source within. Call it what you will. There is an inner knowing. There is a holy guardian angel. There is a higher self. There is an entity that is the real you that goes with you wherever you go. You are not made of flesh and blood and bone, but were created by the self same thought, capital T, thought, which gave the gift of life to him as well. You were created by the same thing that created love. Love created you like yourself. Christ is in you, And some would call it Buddha nature, and some would call it enlightenment. Christ is in you, here's your brother, and so like to you from your father knows that you are both the same. Now, some want to elevate Christ, and Christ said, I'm your brother, greater things than this will you do. And here you have all the power, and you can raise the dead, and you can heal the sick, and you can make your mind such that if you stepped on a snake, it would not harm you because your mind would be free to fear. And you could walk among lepers and not catch it. And you could do all these things, and you could remember that you are perfectly whole and one and holy and one with God, our mother, father, God, at all times, and nothing can destroy you. You could have that life if you change your mind. It is yourself, capital S, you asked to go with you. And how could he be absent where you are your real self, your true self, higher self? How could it not be where you are? That's impossible. Truth will correct all errors in your mind, which tell you could be apart from him. Any idea that you could be apart from God, I was abused and I was raped, and where was God? And I was left, and where was God? And I was heartbroken, and where was God? And these people did this to me, and they kidnapped these people, and these people are at a war, and these people don't have food, and these people are trapped, and these people are doing this. And where is God? Look at the world, and where is God? Well, these are good starting points to correct the errors in your mind, because I want to ask you a question. Look around you right now. Look around you. Is there a war that you can see? Look around you right now. No, I don't see a war. Okay? Look around you right now, and do you see a virus running around in the air getting ready to jump on you? Do you see anything running around, flying around the air, airborne, that's going to jump on you and get you and kill you and make you sick? No, I don't. Do you see someone coming right now with an axe to chop your head off? No, I don't. These are called the perceived dangers of the world. They are errors in the mind, and your mind can be free of all errors today, including errors that something can jump on you from outside and kill you. This is the thought that billions of people have. And that if you simply wash your hands enough, and if you put on enough alcohol all over your hands and antibacterial stuff all over your hands and kill good bacteria with the others. And why were we using antibacterial materials with a virus? I didn't understand that. And I've been on the plane, and I chuckle every time they say, we've applied a microbial or some whatever they call it, coating to every surface in the plane. I'm just cracking up, like, where are they getting this shit? This marketing departments are great to make you feel what? Safe. And we've 10 times purified the water for you because your safety is our number one concern. When did safety become the number one concern of humans? Because humans feel so unsafe. It's unsafe. Put another helmet on our baby. We were fucking riding bikes in New York City in the street with no helmets. We were roller skating in the streets with cars. How did we survive? I don't know. Because we were having fun, maybe, and maybe we weren't thinking we were going to get hit by a car, and so we didn't. But we're just obsessed with safety. Obsessed. These are errors that we can have corrected in our mind, because the course already told us anything that needs that much protection is very weak. If you think that many things can happen to you and you need all that protection, you think yourself weak. And so that's why this course says strength and truth and light are one. Because when you realize that you're strong, do you need all that protection? You're protecting yourself from your mind because your mind believes that something can get you rather than when you're an immortal being. It's very powerful because I still have these thoughts in my mind. Is something going to get me? It's hysterical. When you're an infinite being, you're a God, you're Christ, walking around on the planet. You're the Buddha. walking around on the planet. If you look at the Buddha, if you look at Gandhi, if you look at Nelson Mandela, all of these people, none of them were afraid of death. None of them were afraid of catching anything. If you look at all of the yogis and the saints, they were hugging everyone, including lepers, walking among all manner of people, not having any concern whatsoever that anything was going to happen to them. Get the whole something is going to happen to me from the outside. Get that whole thing out of your mind. It's a great big illusion. No, something's happening in my mind that's drawing untoward shit to me. I need to address my mind. You speak to him today and make your pledge to let his function be fulfilled through you. To share his function to share his joy. His confidence is with you as you say, truth will correct all errors in my mind, and I will rest in him who is myself. Capital S self, rest in higher self. Okay, truth is going to correct all errors in my mind. I've been running around trying to ensure my survival, trying to make as much money as I can, trying to invest as much money as I can. I've been doing all this, and there's nothing wrong with doing any of these things. It is what is the consciousness from which you're doing it? Are you doing it from a survival consciousness? Or are you doing it from an abundance consciousness? Because that will determine your outcome. Then let him lead you gently to the truth, which will envelop you and give you peace so deep and tranquil that you will return to the familiar world reluctantly. You won't want to keep coming back to this matrix world and believing all the things in this matrix world. You just won't believe all these things that you're seeing. And you'll be at peace. You will not be whipped up in the drama. Oh, and it's always some drama. BLM, Black Lives Matter. Oh my goodness, they're killing Black people. Oh my goodness, they're killing these people. Oh my goodness, trans people rights. Oh my goodness, we got to help these people over here. Oh my God, these people are starving. There's always some, have you noticed? There's always some big things happening on planet. Global climate change. We're all gonna die. We only have 40 or 50 harvests left and we're running out of water. Do you notice that if you were to allow yourself to become very deeply disturbed, you could. There's probably 50 things that you could become deeply disturbed about today if you wanted to. Deeply disturbed. Except they're all illusions, a drama played out on the third dimension that is not real. You came here into this drama to show yourself this drama is not real and remind yourself you're a spiritual being. You can go beyond it with consciousness. You came here to touch truth and to bring truth and to be the light. And you realize that as you deepen into the truth, you become so peaceful and so tranquil. And this depth of peace and this depth of tranquility cannot be disturbed. And you will look at things with amusement. No, you won't look at people dying in a war with amusement. You will know exactly what to do and you will know exactly what to think to lift the world out of war. You will know exactly what to think and what to emanate and what to know to lift the world out of disease. And you will know what to do. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza has mass gatherings. I'm about to go to one of his gatherings soon. Mass gatherings where they do what? Meditate, understand your true quantum nature, go into the quantum and change. Change yourself and change the world. That's what you came here to do. And yet you will be glad to look again upon this world, for you will bring with you the promise of the changes which the truth that goes with you will carry to the world. You see, one enlightened person lights up the world and there's less war. Do you realize that we lived in the most peaceful time in all human history? There were no wars anywhere, and then we had to go and start some more skirmishes. Because humanity does not like to be at peace. They have to go find a reason to fight because we're antsy and fearful. So we got to go and attack someone because we have attack thoughts in our consciousness. What would happen if all of us meditated and relieved our attack thoughts? What if we let truth correct all errors in our mind? What if one enlightened person was able to stop a war? We can. They will increase with every gift you give of 5 small minutes. And the errors that surround the world will be corrected as you let them be corrected in your mind. The errors that surround the world. You need another mask. You need another face shield. You need another jab. You need another this. You need another that. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. Oh, it's going to get us all. Well, this didn't get us all, just like Ebola didn't get us all, just like SARS didn't get us all, just like HIV didn't get us all. Do you notice the pattern? We've been every 3 or 4 years, it comes around. Something else is going to come around. This is the first time we all went pretty much batshit crazy. Something comes around every 3 or 4 years that's going to just take us all out. Have you noticed? Ebola was going to get, and patient zero. We love all that shit because we keep doing it. We keep making up a story about something in our own environment that's going to get all of us and kill all of us. And we keep believing it even though it hasn't happened yet. It has not happened yet. Yet we still, do you want to keep participating in that drama? I opted out. I thought the whole thing was a farce from the very beginning. And yes, there are many people that leave the planet. There are many people that leave the planet all the time. I almost left the planet a few times. And if you know that everyone is immortal, what are we really afraid of? What are we really afraid of? So let the errors be corrected in your mind so that the errors that surround the world will be corrected. We must, family, we must see the direct correlation between your 5 small minutes and saving the world. Yesterday, I was all in the whole idea for yesterday. Yesterday, I just kept saying the I do dear to myself. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Today, truth will correct all errors in my mind. See, your 5 minutes every hour, which we will do the first hour, first 5 minutes together. Your 5 minutes every hour is correcting the whole world. It's correcting the whole world as you let errors be corrected in your mind. Do not forget your function for today. Doesn't the world need us? The world is in fear. The world has panic. The world has belief in things that are not so. The world has belief in trinkets that will make you not have something. The world has beliefs in all these things. Pills, injections, we believe these things. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Nothing ever healed you but your mind. You believe something works and it does. You don't believe it works and it doesn't. And we've already proven it with the placebo effect. This is not things that science has not already uncovered, that it's all happening in your mind. Yet, there are entities, there are dark forces, there are whole enclaves and conclaves of people who would love to capture your consciousness with fear. They can't capture your consciousness with love because the more love that's in a consciousness, the more free that consciousness is. So they can't very rightly co-opt your consciousness with love. They would have to use fear because then if you're in fear, the studies have shown that they look at a person who's in fear and they're not even able to make a wise decision for themselves and their families because fear has corrupted our thinking capabilities. We know when we're in panic, we can't think straight. This is common sense. So wouldn't it be a good idea to come out of fear, let truth correct all errors in our mind, and be free? Don't forget today. Each time you tell yourself with confidence, truth will correct all errors in my mind, you speak for all the world. You speak for soldiers, truth will correct all errors in my mind. We don't need war. You speak for doctors, truth will correct all errors in my mind. We do not need to addict people to poisons. You speak to all errors in the world, truth will correct all errors in my mind. Let all errors in the world be corrected. You have a mighty job today. You speak for all the world and him who would release the world. You speak for all the world and him who would release the world as he would set you free. Your higher self, self of all selves, this universe would set everyone free. The universe doesn't like to see us suffer. Here is our first 5-minute practice period of the day in which we remind ourselves truth will correct all errors in my mind. The truth is, I have always been loved and safe, no matter what I thought, no matter what I experienced, no matter what it looked like. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. The light has come. Truth is clearing my mind of all my beliefs in separation and attack and pain and suffering and sickness and dis-ease and disharmony and lack and limitation. Truth is correcting all these errors in my mind. Allow the truth to dawn in the mind. Truth of wholeness, truth of perfection, truth of divine power and strength, truth of immortality, truth of infinite wisdom. You know all things because the self of all selves knows all things. Truth that pain is not required. Suffering is optional. Let us disintegrate, as Eckhart Tolle calls it, the pain body in the book, The New Earth. Let the pain body dissipate. The pain body that reacts when people say and do things and we fly off. That's the pain body. The collective memory of all the wounds and hurts. Let it go. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Tell yourself. And breathe and allow your mind to be swept clean. Truth. Truth. Yes, Spirit, let truth correct the errors in my mind, all the errors in my mind about everything. These errors are a problem for me. They're causing lack and limitation and sickness and trouble in relationships and trouble with people and trouble in homes. These errors in my mind are a problem. Today I give to truth to clear all errors in my mind. We were simply mistaken about what we thought and believed, and we're ready to let it all go and descend. And we have completed our first practice period. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Welcome to Resurrection Sunday, A Course in Miracles lesson 107. Soul Whisperer said, more, more, more. The floor is open. We are on Clubhouse. We are on 2 YouTube channels, the Reverend Valerie Love YouTube channel and the Christian Witches YouTube channel. And we're on Facebook. Let's hear from you, family.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rev. Good morning, everyone. Everyone on stage. Boy, this truth. I mean, you said so many things. I'm like, boom, I'm going to respond with that. I'm going to respond with that. I'm going to tell. Yeah, there's so many things that truth corrects. And I remember you said something about people having a word for folks. I can't tell you how many times, like when I was transitioning out of the Matrix, somebody invariably had some word from the Lord for me about what I was doing with my life and what direction I should go in. I'm like, wait a minute, what about your life? What are you doing with yours now that you have this word for me? That was really interesting. And I remember there was a time when I was in the church and I listened to all of these words that people had for me and was really confused, like, okay, if you're getting all these words for me, how come you don't get any for yourself? It makes no sense. So that was my first red flag. And something not right here. And then you talked about growing up in New York and, doing all the things we did. I remember, being very much a tomboy, very much into sports. And there was this hill in the Bronx somewhere. We used to call it Suicide Hill. And we would go down with our skateboards and our skates and our bikes. And it was like, oh my gosh, this thing was... And we were like forbidden. My parents forbidden us to go down. Yeah, of course, my brother and I, we would sneak off and go down Suicide Hill, and nothing ever happened. If I thought about all the fear that was put into us, don't do this, don't go here, boy, I don't even know how I would have survived. Thank God that I didn't listen and I didn't believe every single thing. I had some kind of fun in my childhood. And I don't remember having all those helmets and knee pads and arm pads. And, I saw my friend, she posted a picture of her son riding a bike. The sky looked like Voltron or something. It was all, like plastic all over him just in case he fell. I'm like, well, kids fall. That's what happened. They fall, you get up, you keep going. So this whole thing about truth correcting all errors, it does. All the errors, all the things that I thought that could happen, that could happen, that never ever happened.
That's right.
All those things were in my head. All those things manufactured by fear. All those things I clung on based on the information that I was getting from the people around me. You need to do this. You have to do that. If you don't do this, then that. And the other thing that I thought was so funny that you said, is like, okay, so antibacterial soap, how does that work for viruses? Like, how?
I keep trying to figure out why we're putting all the antibacterial stuff on our hands and this is a virus. If anyone has the answer for me, please tell me.
Marketing, that's it. I worked in an infectious disease clinic, and I'm very clear how viruses work. And I'm very clear that they work very differently than bacteria. And I'm very clear that, the interventions for bacteria are clearly different than viruses. And because, we just want to go along with whatever they and those are saying, because they and those obviously are, the God in our lives, like media, TV, or whatever, have you washing off the good bacteria off your hands and spreading more, infection infection because you don't even have the good bacteria to ward off. But yeah, this is protecting me from a virus. Makes no sense. Same thing with colds. Hold on. Colds are caused by viruses, not by bacteria. So I don't know. Maybe it's just something we need to learn about the world. However, I do know marketing is very strong and it can get you to do things that you would normally not do. And because we have this lesson, truth will correct all errors in our minds. We have a route out of the madness. We have something to look at, to examine, to look in our conscience and say, is this true? And that was my favorite thing you would say to me, Rev, when I would go crazy, like, oh, this is happening. And you would say, Dr. B, is that true? And I'm like, no, but I still want to carry on. Truth will correct all of that. And I really appreciate this lesson. I'm complete for now.
And how come we're not asking questions about that? How come we're not asking questions about all this antibacterial? It's a lot of alcohol we're using. We're using a whole lot of alcohol, making more alcohol. Carry the antibacterial stuff in your purse. You see everybody with a little one on their purse. No one's asking questions about that.
No, because we want to feel safe. We want to go along with the crowd. We want to teach that to our children. Children run into school with their little Bath and Body Works hand sanitizer coming to their book bags, and it's glitter and it's pretty, and we're doing what everyone does, and so we're safe. I don't know why people. I just think that people just like going along with the crowd. They just really enjoy feeling like they're doing the right thing, whether it's right or not. And the whole thing with HIV, and that was my area starting way back in the 90s. All the predictions, Black women were going to be dead because, they're the highest risk, and, blah, blah, and then the kids will be border babies. And we're going to have to start shelters for these babies that are going to be orphaned because their mom and dad are dying from, HIV infection and injected drug using. And yeah, they were planning for our demise. They were planning for the demise of our children. And that never happened. And I worked in that field, and people really, really believed that these things were going to happen, and
they did believe it.
None of it. I'm not saying they weren't deaths, but the catastrophic nature of HIV, which they said was going to happen, it was going to happen. It was
That's
predicted.
What they said.
All the numbers said so, and it didn't. So yeah, what happened to that? And you're right. We kind of love that titillation of fear, like, oh my gosh, we got to do this. Now we have to do that. Now we have to be afraid of other bodies, afraid of other people, because they're bringing diseases here, and we're all going to die. This lesson corrects all of that. It corrects all of that. If you pay attention, it corrects all of that. I'm complete, I
think. You could just as easily opt out. I opted out of it. How come we keep believing these things? They keep coming around every 3 or 4 years. In 3 or 4 years, another one's coming. It was HIV, it was SARS, it was Ebola, and now this. Does everybody remember? It's the same script. They just take out the same script and read it all over again. They just change the words. From HIV to SARS, it's Ebola. Ebola, oh my God. It always has a horrible, scary name. Ebola. Oh my God, Ebola. I think I might get the Ebola. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I was right there in it. I was right in the middle of it. And I was, I thought that's what, I don't know why I thought that's what I came to Earth to do. I know I wanted, I know I was seeking truth. And I was always seeking, well, what's the truth about this? And that's what scientists are always seeking, is the truth. However, if you're a scientist paid by the government, there's no way that you'll ever get the truth, because they are not going to pay you to uncover their foolishness. And you have to pretty much, if they're going to pay you us $3 million to do some research, it better align with their narrative, because they're not going to give you money to tell them they're wrong.
That's
and
right.
I know that for a fact. So all the scientists that are out here are paid performers. And they're not going to give up their fancy salary and their Mercedes Benz just because. They're going to toe the line. They're going to say whatever the government wants them to say, and then stand up there as experts. Well, Dr. So-and-so said such and thus, and therefore I believe them. I don't. I know way better than that. And so I'm on another mission, really looking for truth, not really looking, but understanding it's revealed through me, in me. It's always been there. So I don't have to go outside and manipulate variables and create hypotheses and test them out there. All the hypotheses that I formulate now are about myself and the life that I'm living. Like, is this true? Let me go about and see. So my scientific skills are used differently now as opposed to how they were used in the world. Yeah.
Randy says on YouTube, agreed, but we are not required to participate in stupidity. That's exactly right. Soul Whisperer said, bird flu coming back. And Soul Whisperer, remember swine flu? Hair mouth disease, salmonella. Remember when the salmonella was on all the food? Salmonella. Why do we even give it any thought whatsoever? Why? Can I ask a question? How did humanity survive without helmets for thousands of years? They just came up with helmets for kids, the last 20 years? How did the kids survive for thousands of years with no helmets?
I know I survived.
How did we survive?
I survived without a helmet.
We didn't have helmets. They weren't invented when we were little. There were no such thing.
Again, it's marketing. Wear this helmet, put this on, knee pads, arm pads, I don't know, face masks, this, that. Put all this on and you will be safe. Your child will be safe. Everyone will be safe. Now, I'm not saying there aren't things that make sense, lights on the bike so people can see you coming and things like that. I love riding bikes. I mean, I'm very much still very active, love the outdoors and all that stuff. And, there's an element of, okay, I'm not going to do this, however, all of those contraptions, I mean, I thank God, I'm glad I didn't have to wear all them contraptions. I don't think I would have as much fun as a child strapped up with all of these things, just trying to ride a bike. My God, I don't know how we survived, Rev. How did we do it?
I don't know how humanity survived. And you know what I love about it? We didn't have helmets at first. We didn't have any protection, And you know what I really love about this whole thing? Family. It's not about whether or not your kid is wearing a helmet. It's not about the knee pad. It's not about anything outside of yourself. It's about your consciousness. Am I doing this from a consciousness of fear or a consciousness of love? That's all. That's all. Is this love what I'm doing, or is this fear? That's all.
Right. Good morning.
Good morning, Queen Vashti.
Good morning. I've often wondered this, and something definitely I use now is that question that Queen Hadassah stated was, is this true? Because the truth never changes. So if these things are constantly changing, it cannot be the truth. So this is what I use to detect the truth. So with this current situation that was created by from someone's and forced upon the world through fear, it was constantly changing all the time. They didn't know what was going on. And immediately from the beginning, I said, this is not true. And I've asked the question, like, how do so many people do the same thing? And some comes to the wearing a mask or wearing protection, you mentioned HIV, Queen Hadassah, and like everybody's doing the same thing. So why are some people having so-called symptoms and some people aren't? Because if everybody's not doing the same thing, there would be no children. So is this true? It can't be true because it's constantly changing. It can't be true. And as you said, Coach, it's definitely all about your consciousness and the level of fear that you may be carrying around because of whatever experience you are having in your personal life, where you held on to these beliefs, and lo and behold, okay, now you're showing symptoms, or somebody passed away, or, you know, it's all about the consciousness. Because how can so many, this is just my thinking about all of these things. If everybody's doing the same thing and only a few people are showing a sign or a symptom, how can it be true? I've often wondered that. And now I know what the answer is by just being in this community and doing the work, that it's all about consciousness. I'm complete for now. I agree with you, Queen. I believe that everything begins and ends in consciousness. Yeah, Tania, I agree with you.
Randy on YouTube says, I remember riding on that ledge behind the back seat under the rear window in the car when I was a child. Seatbelts, man, we were all over them cars. We were in the front seat with mom. Mom was holding you, driving, and eating the chicken wing. Do you remember the baby? They would set the baby in the seat. In the, not car seat. We didn't have car seats when we were little. The car seats, there was no such thing as car seats when we came home from the hospital. They either walked you home in a carriage, or they just carried you, or they put you, wrapped up you. There weren't even seatbelts in the car. So I know this sounds like Stone Ages. And so they put the kid, they would, a lot of times they would just lay the baby on the seat next to them while they were driving, and just pat the baby while they were driving. How did we survive?
You just did. I remember being packed in the car. We were going somewhere, and so it was so many of us kids because, you know, everybody didn't have a car back then. So we were packed so tight in there, nothing was going to happen to us anyway. We wasn't going to fly nowhere. You know, you got kids on the floor. You got kids. My dad had a station wagon. You got kids on the floor. You got about 20 people in the car. Now, this is nothing that would happen, you know. And I just remember when I was in Lagos in 2017, my first time visiting over there, and the people drive so crazy to me. And not only were they driving so crazy and there were no accidents, like people were literally hanging off the bus.
Oh yeah.
Like there was no door and they were just hanging. So many people packed in there.
Oh yeah.
They were hanging out the sides of the bus, and I saw 4 people on a motorcycle. It was really something to see coming from America. It was something to see like that, you know. And of course, immediately in my consciousness, I was like, "How are they doing that without getting in an accident?" But nobody's thinking about an accident. They're just doing what they're doing. I mean, they would be inches from each other, no accidents. And that always stuck with me, because we have all these signs and we have speed limits and we got everything to prevent an accident, supposedly, but they're accidents. It's really something when you start to compare all these different situations as you know, as we see them here in the U.S. and then as you may see them outside of the U.S. in some place. It was really very interesting. I'm complete.
Well, have you ever ridden a jitney in Jamaica? Have you ever seen a bus in Kenya? Right? Soul Whisperer, they hanging off the bus. They're running beside the bus, jumping on the bus while the bus is moving. Everybody's fine.
That was a sight for me. Nobody hurt, no accidents. It was something. That is definitely a place I would never want to drive. And I always say this about New York as well. I never want to drive in New York. To me, looking at New York drivers, it's a thing that I do not want to get involved in. So definitely to be in Lagos and see how they drive, it's much different from the way we drive in the U.S. I would never want to drive there. Okay, Queen, I will drive you around when you come to New York. So I've got my license in New York, and I've driven in several countries. And yeah, it's different. I drove on the right hand. I drove on the left hand. I drove all over Australia. It was really fun. I did get a ticket. So it's kind of, heavy on the pedal. And they have these things on the highway in Australia. They just snap your picture. And I was like, screw Australia. I'm not paying that. And next thing you know, they sent me a ticket via email. I was like, oh, snap. I guess I have to pay it. So I'm like, what if I don't pay it? What's going to happen? Let me just pay it and be in order because I did speed. But yeah, New York drivers, they say if you could drive in New York, you could drive anywhere. Yeah. And I truly believe that we can drive crazily and we don't be getting into accidents. No. Like, where I live now, it's like the ridiculous accidents. Like, how did you get into this accident? There's 5 lanes on this highway. How did you get into this accident? It's consciousness. It really is. It really begins with consciousness. If you are fearful and you think you could be in an accident or you think something's going to happen to you, chances are it will. It's what you believe. It's what you're holding in your mind. Go ahead. Yes. I'm complete. Beautiful. Me too. I love you. Love you too, sweetie. Hi, hey, y'all. Hey, Diane. Good morning, Diane. Good morning. I adore this lesson. I think this is one of my favorite ones now, too, with 101. That's definitely one of my faves now. And I think I'm going to go with 107, too. It was one of my favorites with how the truth will correct everything. And I love in the chorus when it said that without belief they have no life. Like whatever it is whatever illusions that you were choosing to accept, but the moment that you choose to not believe it anymore, like there's no life to it. Like it just came back to nothingness where it came from, and all that remains is truth. And that just reminded me of, I had, I guess I would say, a real life experience when it comes to like belief and what is the truth, and allowing my consciousness to be like, wait, hold up. And what happened the other day, on Friday, I actually went to, my best friend was opening up for KRS-One. And so I went to the concert or whatever, and it was like literally like one of the best times of my life. Like it was like definitely like a highlight moment in my life with just everything that was going there. And I remember I was like in the audience, I was just vibing so hard to the music, to the beat. It was just like true hip hop, right? Yes. And then like out of nowhere, like, well, of course it's always somewhere, but yeah, you get what I'm saying for the storyline. Out of nowhere, I had this like these thoughts of the whole like C word came up. I'm like, where did you even come from? Like, wait a minute, Zaire.
And everybody, y'all got to know, Zaire does not play with germs, okay? So you jam it in the concert, and then all of a sudden, the C word.
It came on like so intense, like in my consciousness, and I said, I said, no. I'm having the best time of my life, like God. The best time, and then all of a sudden, I just felt it. I felt it, and so what I did, I said, no, I handled this back in Miami. I said, I broke free from out that prison. So what I did, my galactic self, I time jump into another
time zone, so where I didn't have to, that wasn't me no more. So I literally just jumped when I was in the first and went into a different timeline so that I didn't have that belief and it vanished. I said, no, I'm not going to stay in that one. And that's all I did, because I said, that's not my truth anymore.
You jumped to a doppelganger that didn't have that belief.
Exactly. That's exactly what I did right then and there. I said, nope.
Whoa.
Because I felt stressed. I felt all my emotions changed. I said, heck no. I was just free, feeling blissful, and I jumped. And then I felt my bliss again, and it got even more intense of blissfulness and happy feelings. So I was like, this is my truth. This is my reality. And I continue to have one of the most epic nights of my life on Friday.
My God.
Yes, that was a live example of the Course of Miracles that I was working with.
In the moment.
Since it was relevant.
Wow.
So Zaya, did you get to tell Chris I said
that's amazing?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
Who was opening for them? Who was opening for KRS-One?
One of my childhood best friends. It was maybe about like 4 people, and she was one of them.
Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful. You know what's so fascinating about that? Family, you will be in the love, you will be in the bliss, you're vibing, and then you hit that point where you are in so much bliss that you literally can't stand it. We call that the upper limits problem. You reached your max on how much bliss you'll let yourself have, and then you'll dart yourself, you'll zap yourself with some fear thoughts just to bring yourself back down, because you in uncharted territory here. You feeling a little too good. I love the in the moment correction, because in the moment you say, no, I got a quantum tool for that. I have a doppelganger, and I have many doppelgangers that live in alternate dimensions of reality that do not have this fear thought. I'm jumping to a doppelganger, and I'm gonna keep on with the bliss. And then you let yourself experience even more bliss. Well done.
Thank you. I was very impressed with myself too. Thank you.
That's spiritual gangster, family. Corrected in the moment. Corrected in the moment.
I love this conversation. I love what you were saying when you were reading the course about how the truth corrects all things, even when like you're doing something you know you're not supposed to be doing. You're with somebody you know you're not supposed to be with. You're living someplace, you know, all these things that you probably know are not at your highest self, but you do them kind of anyway. And I just had to like look at every area of my life, and I found so many places and spaces where I'm doing exactly that. And it's so funny when we talk about I'm often accused of living in a lollipops and gumdrops world. So a lot of things like the only thing I can say I have a true fear of is spiders, but anything else in life I just kind of laugh at. And so even with the C word, like I truly believe it's consciousness. I truly believe if you believe that does not exist, you, no matter however many other people around you have this quote unquote symptoms, no matter however many people around you are testing quote unquote positive, you can literally stand in the middle of that shit unmasked and catch nothing. And it was so funny. My girlfriend's sister, God bless her heart, she was so afraid of that C word. When I tell you, for like 2 years, she was just riding around in a car with herself with the mask on, going to sleep with the mask on. She was living with this mask. It was so crazy to me. So it was about maybe a month or so ago, I told her, I said, well, you know, I don't believe in it, you know. So when I was telling her all these different things about why I never caught it, and then like nothing was sinking in. But then I was like, and you know what else I heard? People with O positive and O negative, they can't catch it. She was like, shit, I'm O negative, and she took off that mask. And I seen her with one again. So it was just so funny because now that she also believes that she can't, I don't know if that's true or not true. That's what they were saying on the news. But since she had something that she can cling onto, that she can believe in that truth, nothing else I was saying mattered. But once I said, oh, negative, oh, positive, then she was like, oh, now it's like after 2 years of wearing a mask with herself, like seriously with herself, she took it off and haven't seen her with it on again. So it's just funny, like when we have something that we can believe, then our whole world changes around us. Once you believe, whether it's a truth or not truth, once you have that true belief in that thing, everything changes. And I'm complete.
And everyone in the Clubhouse room, thank you to all the incredible shares in the Clubhouse room on YouTube. Smash up the likes, YouTube, if you're watching. Smash up the likes. Make sure you put a like. Make sure you put a comment if you're watching. Smash up the likes. That tells the bot people need to see this. Share it all over the world. Share it with millions of people. Let's bring people out of fear and into love. Who's next?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This conversation is just woo. And thank you for all your shares. That C word is just amazing that this lesson came up. A conversation came up for me on yesterday. Because I was being told that I gotta just be living my best life because I'm going everywhere, doing things. Like the past week, one of my childhood friends, she had her 50th birthday party. You know, I went there. Just going to a lot of places, doing a lot of things. So that particular conversation came up, and with the conversation coming up, what was presented to me was that, because I really don't look at the news at all, that it was said on the news that, you know, we would be living with this C word and would have to evaluate on our own how we would go forward. So it was just funny that this came up, because then I said to the person, so what will your truth be? How will you move forward? How will you live? You're telling me I'm living my best life and you're living vicariously through me, but you won't leave the house. You won't go anywhere unless absolutely necessary with 2 or 3 masks on. I said, so are you going to move forward in that way? And I couldn't get I didn't get an answer. I said, so now you're going to have to decide, when are you going to live your best life? And it's like, now it's presented, what will your truth be? How will this operate? And how will you go forward? And I just, love the fact that, truth will correct all errors in the minds. So, these beliefs that have been before us, not necessarily truths, but beliefs, or us going forward based on what we have seen. Just knowing that, if we stand fast in what our true truth is, ground ourselves in that, all errors will be eliminated and we can go forward living our best life, a blissful life. We can quantum leap. We can actually bring this body into the truth that we truly want to live. I am complete.
Mm-hmm. Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
I remember when I was watching this video, this was years ago, this probably was maybe about 10 years ago, and it was this guy, and he was like one of those hood spiritual people, and I loved it because he would cuss and everything, make it make sense to me. And he was talking about how he was like, y'all don't understand like who I am, like who I came in this incarnation. He said, like all of this stuff, like when it comes to illnesses and all that, he said, it doesn't matter. He said, I can have sex with somebody right now who got AIDS and I would not catch it. I would not catch it because of the level of consciousness that I'm on, all that stuff. And like, I really wasn't like fully getting, I was like, wait, huh? I said, wait, you can do stuff like that? And it just like opened my whole world, like, wow, everything, it is like belief system is either like your beliefs and then the truth and like what you want to hold on to. Like I'm noticing that just throughout my life of whatever it is, like if it's a belief and I believe it, then I start acting accordingly to that belief, even though it's not even the truth. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just acting accordingly to the belief that I chose to believe or that I chose to accept from another person. And that to do that. I don't have to do that. I can literally just live my life off of what the truth is. And that feels so much better to me. That makes me happy. And that's the way I want to go. That's the way I want to go. The truth way. Yeah.
Don't we all know people that have had sex with many people and never caught nothing? Don't we know people that lay down one time with somebody and got pregnant the first time they ever had sex with this person? Like, you know all these people. What's the difference? Consciousness. You know people that's whoring around and sleeping around and pimping around and all of it, and they will never get nothing.
Living their best life.
Living their best life, sexing whoever they feel like sexing at any given time, and don't catch Jack.
No, exactly. That was my question. What is this about? What is this about? What is it? What is this? How come some affected, some not affected? Consciousness. I know the answer now. Consciousness.
It's whatever's in your mind, deeply held in your mind as the truth. That's what your whole experience is doing. And we really don't want to believe that our minds are that powerful. They really are. Your mind is ruling your entire body. It's ruling how much weight you have on your body. It's ruling how much energy you have in your body. It's ruling your skin, regardless of skincare products. I don't care what skincare products you have. Your mind is determining your skin. And I love amazing skincare. I use amazing skincare. Why? Because my mind believes it. And I would get the same result with pure water if my mind believed it. My mind doesn't believe that. Your mind is doing it. Your mind is doing all of it. When you really start tapping into the depth of your mind and that your mind is giving you a disease, your mind is giving you a sickness, and your mind is getting rid of the disease. Unbelievable. Who's next?
Grand Rising. Good morning.
Good morning and Grand Rising. Kristen, we almost gonna be in Dubai, Kristen.
In a couple of days. Like, what is it? I'm not keeping track of time.
So it's exactly 1 week from today. The Dubai retreat begins. Exactly 1 week from today. I fly out on Monday. First, I'm going to Miami. I'm doing a few things. So when do you guys fly to Dubai?
We will be there we leave on the 20th. So I think that's Thursday. If I'm not mistaken, we get there on Friday, the 22nd.
Nice. Are y'all loving where y'all are staying?
This is cool. And that leads to consciousness and conversations. I'm like, okay, now that I've experienced this, I know there's better. So where we're at, we're in an Airbnb. It's really nice inside, outside, not so much. And this brings me to mass grievances for myself. I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be, I'm, from Texas. So I'm like, in Texas, we don't wear masks. And for a while, there were masks and all that type of stuff. But now it's like optional. It's pretty rare to see people in the grocery store with masks on. Whereas here in this part of Mexico that we're in Cancun, it's so funny to me, and I'm really working on how can I not be irritated by this? Because somewhere in my consciousness, I've created this too. I want to be afraid of something and have some quote unquote excitement of fear. I don't know. I have to dig deep into where that is in my mind, because looking at this, it is, I'm like, how is a piece of cloth going to save you from a deadly disease, but you're piling on in a van? How you guys were talking about in Lagos here in Cancun, there are these vans that they're the city transit, and people literally pile on, hanging out the door, 20 people, but y'all all have a mask on, and I'm like, it's hot as hell out here. I can't. And yeah, anyway. But to this conversation, I just found it so hilarious and funny, and it really, as Queen Bashi was saying, makes it like, okay, let me go in my consciousness and see where this is at. So one, with the conversation about as children, just running around and playing, and now it's like you don't see kids, and I'm relatively, I think, young. I'm 24, and so even when I grew up, there were, kids. We just go outside, don't come back in unless, okay. But anyway, and it's so funny because the conversation we had on, I think it was Monday. Like I said, I'm not keeping track of time, but we had a conversation earlier this week about what's stopping us from, moving forward with that calling that's within our souls. And for me, it was music. And literally, I set a commitment to to at least complete one song that I've kind of messed around with, but never really completed it and publish it to the public. And I'm laughing at myself because I now have almost a full album. I'm at 5 songs with lyrics, with music. Just need to find a place to record or order a mic. And I'm really thankful for my accountability partners in assisting with that and all of that. But anyway, back to the point. One of the songs is, I call it Once Upon a Time. And it's like this kid, you're sitting in a tree, just being free. Like I used to, as a kid, climb up in trees. And it's like, now there's all this safety. And I don't know, it's funny because my mom, she didn't have a problem with it. But yet the other day, we were telling her our plans after Dubai. We're like, yeah, we're going to go to Thailand. She was like, oh, well, Mexico's okay. Well, it's probably good that y'all are in Cancun. That's a busier city. But, people get kidnapped there. And, it's dangerous. It's more dangerous everywhere else in the world. I was like, no, it's not. It's not at all. And that was it. It was just observation. It's so funny the way that we look at things. And even for myself, like with going to Thailand, I was like, okay, Thailand's great. And then the resistance came up of, wait, what about the weather? And, oh, it's monsoon season. And then I even read an article from a blogger, and this guy, he was like, okay, first of all, people who are so fearful of monsoon season aren't people who are actually from there. It rains for like an hour and then it goes away. Like it does in Miami, like it does in a lot of places in the world. It just rains and it goes away. Yeah, it's heavy rain and then it dries up. So it's fine. So yeah, just observations and consciousness. That was my observation and I am complete as of this moment.
I heard Quintana Roo was dropping their mask. That's the state where Cancun is, because Mexico has 30 states, which I did not know before I moved here. And just like America has 50 states, Mexico has 30 states. And Cancun, Tulum, Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, those all in Quintana Roo. That's the state, like Florida or Texas, right? And I live in the Yucatan. The Yucatan is where I live in Mexico, which is a different state from Quintana Roo. And what I noticed is that, what I saw is that, first of all, if you don't want to wear a mask somewhere, especially outdoors, no one in Mexico, do you walk outdoors with masks on? No one in Mexico ever said anything to me about putting on a mask, ever. No one ever said anything to me anywhere about putting on a mask, except once when I was in Puerto Rico in December of 2020, before I came to Mexico. I was walking down the street in Puerto Rico and I saw a bunch of cops across the street and I was being mean on purpose. I was like, what the fuck? You're not telling me jack. And they were like, señorita, man. And I was like, okay. I was being belligerent. I'm being honest. And I don't wear a mask at all unless I go into like a public place, right? You go into a restaurant, put it on, sit down, take it off, which is really fascinating because COVID can't get you if you're eating. But if you're standing up, it can get you. But if you're sitting down eating, it can't get you. I mean, the whole thing is just a farce. It's a farce. Yeah, it can't get you if you're sitting down eating food. Yeah, but if you stand up, it's because it's up here in the air, but it's not down where the table is.
Yeah, the particles don't fall.
No, they don't get you. And if you're eating, you're good. You're good. And even on a plane. Now we're all masked up on the plane. But take it off. And everybody's taking it off at the same time eating when they come through with the service. Aren't we all gonna get it right now? What is going on, people? Clearly we can tell that we don't even believe the shit, okay? Because if you really believed that a deadly disease was gonna get you, we should take off a mask to eat some pretzels. If you really believed a deadly disease was going to get you, would you say, I think I'll have a Coke, and take it off and just be sipping your Coke and everybody around you is sipping Coke and eating popcorn? Come on, people. We don't even believe the shit. Continue. It's hilarious.
It's just hilarious. And I said the same thing when all this stuff. Well, I will say it. Initially, I was in a place of fear, and I did get sick. Not with COVID. I even tested, and it was like, you just have a cold. And I'm like, oh, I made that shit up in my mind. And even my husband, we were just staying at the time, but he was like, just looking at me like, you are the crazy one. You're the one making yourself sick. And I was like, no, you need to put a mask on too. You need to stay away from people. We don't need to get people sick. He was like, the last time I checked, you're the only one acting like you're sick, and then you actually make it. It's just funny, like our consciousness. But yeah, here in Quintana Roo, it's not mandatory outside, but if you go in places, which honestly have done that too, and then like I'm like, I don't care these rules, like I'm not wearing a mask, and then they're like, okay, put one on or we'll have to leave and all this other stuff. It's like, okay, whatever. And then I still pull it down from my nose because you're literally breathing back in your toxins as well. Yeah, like the whole thing is just so ass backwards. It honestly irritates me, and that's what I need to work on is my irritations. But yeah, here in Quintana Roo, it's only if you're like in public places like Walmart or any of the stores, any closed areas. But yeah, it's funny. It goes away when we eat. It goes away when we take something to drink on the airplane. So what we do is we just have a bottle of water. If the stewardess walk by, I'm drinking my water. Okay, I'm complete.
You keep that one drink for the whole entire flight. But you want to know something really fascinating about this whole thing? People are not going to not be humans. Do you see people at these concerts? My daughter, did you see my daughters in Vegas at that big club? Now, there's no mask requirement in Vegas anymore. They were at a club. It looked like it was about 1,000 people in that club. Tap on my profile, go down to my Instagram and look at them. They were in there with French Montana. Everybody's drinking, people sharing shots. Here, you get drinking shots from the bottle. And everybody's having a good time. Like Zaire at the concert. Humans are not going to stop being humans. We're going to go to parties. We're going to go to clubs. We're going to go to football games and cheer our people on. We're going to go to concerts and scream to the top of our lungs and come out hoarse. We're doing all that shit. So, mask be damned. We are living life. And you're not going to ever be able to get humans to stop living life. Stop hugging people. Stop going to visit the people you love. We ain't doing that shit. We'll do it for a minute. And then humans are going to be humans. We cannot help ourselves but to have fun and to party.
What was so funny to me was when looking up the requirements for Dubai, you were exempt from taking the C test if you were blind, if you were deaf, if you had Down syndrome, if you had Bell palsy. Like there were so many, like you had to take no tests. You did not have to be vaccinated if you were blind. So obviously blind people can't catch the C word. And I was just looking at this like, this is hilarious. Like, it basically, when I read the list of exceptions, it was like damn near everybody did have to take it. So that's how you know all this shit is made up. And some people are just still kind of hanging on to it because they don't want to be the first to let it go. I don't know. But it was just really fascinating to me, all the people that were exempt from taking the test that had nothing to do with nothing. Okay, so if I can't hear, I should get COVID. It was just very fascinating. I just can't wait till we are all complete with it.
That's why I'm spending my 5 minutes every hour today. I'm spending my first 5 minutes every hour to release myself and the entire world from all our errors that we believe that something can get you from the outside. That's what I'm committing my truth day to today. All of us have a truth day today. Who else? Otherwise, we're going to the Galactic Signature. It's Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday. All right, we're going to go to the Galactic Signature. It's Easter Sunday. Yay, it's Easter Sunday.
Yes. my head so you all can hear me better. Today, we have a red day. We have a red galactic moon day. So we are in Kin 229.
That's mine. Oh, you want to read it?
Oh, it's Queen Vashti. She's Red Moon or Red Earth?
No, ma'am, I'm Red Earth.
Oh, you in the Red family.
I'm Red Galactic Moon.
Go ahead and read it. Let me see.
Wait a minute. Who's Red Galactic Moon?
Coach Michelle.
Coach Michelle, that's your galactic signature. You're Red Galactic Moon.
Yes and yes. Kin 229.
Whoa, it's your day. Wow.
I can read it.
Okay, I'm sending it right to you.
Oh, I have it.
Okay, good. Go right ahead.
Kin 229, Red Galactic Moon. I harmonize in order to purify, modeling flow. I seal the process of universal water with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of space. I harmonize in order to purify, modeling flow. I seal the process of universal water with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of space. I harmonize in order to purify, modeling flow. I seal the process of universal water with the galactic tone of integrity. I am guided by the power of space. Kin 229, Red Galactic Moon.
Blood Clan in the house.
Blood Clan in the house. Blood Clan.
And Queen Vashti is Red Earth, right? What's your galactic signature,
Yes,
Queen
ma'am,
Vashti?
Red Earth.
What's your
Yes, ma'am.
tone?
My tone is I'm red magnetic earth.
Oh, magnetic. Wow. Queen Coach Michelle and Zaire are on the same tone. Y'all are both galactic.
Whoop, whoop, Galactic.
Galactic. Wow. That is all. I learned something new today. All right. Great galactic moon. Beautiful. All right, family. Send some love, everybody, to all our love tubers. Love tubers, we love you. Everyone watching on Facebook, love you. Mwah. Family, have a beautiful Easter Sunday. Send some Easter Sunday love.
Yes. Love y'all.
Resurrection Sunday.